Hello and welcome back to BS Rugby, and Wales travel to Twickenham to take on England this Saturday in the Six Nations in round 3. As a very proud Welshman, here is my team that I would like to see face England this weekend in the Six Nations. The team is due to be announced on Thursday at 11:30. It is now Wednesday afternoon. This is go now on the Wednesday night. So this is my starting 15. As always, if you do enjoy the video, make sure to leave it a like. Let me know your team in the comments down below. If you're English, let me know your team for England. And of course, hit that subscribe button as we push towards 3,000 subscribers by the end of the Six Nations. Let's start off, of course, with the fullback. At fullback, I've gone with this man. There's only one man for the job. That is Liam Williams. Not played all that much rugby this season, but I thought against Scotland, he really stepped up and made himself count. Someone who, under the high ball, is really a safe pair of hands, and it is something England are going to look to use quite a bit to put the pressure on us, I feel. Also, he offers something going forward, although I don't feel like we've truly seen that from him as of yet. But I want to see him with ball in hand, running at the defence and having that confidence that we saw last weekend, that behind-the-back pass. So unnecessary, but so skillful. Now, before we get onto our wing, one thing that we do have to talk about is the talk about Louis Rees-Zammit. He's been released to go back to Gloucester. So out of absolutely everything, that is screaming to all of us that he's not going to be taking any part in this weekend's game. Is he carrying a little knock potentially, or has he just been dropped? It's a big debate. But so Louis Rees-Zammit does not go into my squad just because of that fact that he's not available. So I've just picked the players that I believe are going to be available for Saturday. So taking that into mind, I've gone with this man, Alex Cuthbert. Now, a lot of people will be asking me, why have you gone with Alex Cuthbert? He's 3 years past his best or something like that. But look, I think Alex Cuthbert last week had a decent performance against Scotland, almost got a try in the corner as well. I think Pivac is going to want to go for physicality this week. He's not going to want to get bullied, especially bullied by the big English pack. And if they're camped 5 metres on our line, Alex Cuthbert is someone that can offer us that physicality. But also, as I said, I thought he performed really well against Scotland, took his opportunity. Do I think he's the future for Wales in that position? No, but with Louis Rees-Zammit out, for me, Alex Cuthbert, I think, will start and starts in my team. But I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Moving on to my centres then, I've gone with this man, Halaholo. Halaholo has been declared as fit for this game, and if he is, I believe he should start. And we'll get on to my other centre in just a second and why I think he should be dropped. But I think he is unlucky. But Halaholo just oozes class, doesn't he? He's really just a class player. He's just got so much control, very typical of that Pacific Nations kind of style, has that flair about him. Big, physical, strong, but fast. It starts for Cardiff in the URC this season. He's only actually played 5 games, but he scored 2 tries with an 81% tackle success rate and getting 8 turnovers. That's 11th in the URC. So he has shown that he's not only able to create things out of nothing in the middle of the park, but he's also able to put in a shift defensively, which is something we're going to have to do at Twickenham against this English side and the pack as well. Although England want to move the ball around, they still keep those traits of England over the years, that big physical presence. And I think having him in there, someone who could unlock the door maybe, but also that defensive awareness is something that we're going to need. Alongside him, I've gone with this man. It is Nick Tompkins. He will be wearing the number 12 shirt. Sorry, that's not number 12, but he will be wearing the number 12 shirt. And I guess Nick Tompkins, for me, has been one of the standout performers for Wales so far in the Six Nations. He actually completed the most amount of tackles in the Six Nations by a back against Ireland, of course, with Josh Adams in the centre, which really didn't work. It maybe seemed a little bit harsh on Owen Watkin, who I thought had a really good game against Scotland, but I just think to have the quality of someone like a Halaholo, if he's fit and ready to go, I think he starts in this game. I would have no problem seeing Owen Watkin start, because as I said, I thought he was fantastic against Scotland, and it seems strange why Pivac doesn't fully trust him, I don't feel, but I think that Tompkins' defensive ability and what he showed against Ireland especially puts him in really good stead. And having someone like a Halaholo on his outside, it just offers a really exciting partnership. And the centre is somewhere where we have struggled with injuries over the last couple of years. So I'd be really excited to see how that partnership goes. But again, Owen Watkin just about missing out. On the wing, then, I've gone with Josh Adams. Certainly not putting him in the centre. Josh Adams has been declared fit as well. And in my opinion, one of the best wingers in the world on his day. His ability to finish from 20 to 30 yards, he's one of the best in the world. We need to see him with ball in hand. That is something we've struggled over the past few weeks with getting ball into the hands of our backs, of our back three especially, giving them that space and the ability to create something out of nothing. So he's going to be key to that. Again, hasn't played enough rugby, in my opinion, this season. That is something that needs to be addressed here in Wales in general. But I do think Josh Adams should go into this team, should be starting. He has a good record against England, and he's played in England. He's obviously very, very experienced at this level, and I think he has to start. At 10, if he is fit, which I believe he's going to be, it is Dan Biggar, of course, at 10. Played with half a leg, it seemed, against Scotland, but kept going. And as a captain, I think he's really grown into the role. There are a lot of talks about could he contain his anger? Could he contain his frustration in the game? Could he speak properly to referees? And I think he has shown that in abundance over the past couple of weeks. I'm really excited to see how he goes against this England team, especially that battle between him and Marcus Smith, I think could be quite fascinating. But Biggar has so much experience, will know a lot of the boys because, of course, he plays at Northampton Saints. And so that will come in handy, I'm sure. So for me, there's no question mark that this man starts. He goes in as captain, and yeah, he could be pivotal. And also, he's a really good goal kick, and he showed that against England in the past as well. So really excited to see how he goes. But yeah, definitely Dan Biggar has to start. And he, of course, is going to be partnered by this man, Tomas Williams. I think Tomas Williams is the best scrum half in Wales right now, and on form, he deserves to be in there. He'll look to speed the game up. I think he'll have it over Ben Youngs. If Ben Youngs is the one to start, I think he's the better scrum half. I think his pace, his sniping around the breakdown, the support lines that he offers. And again, if he can get that speed of ball at the breakdown, he will fire it out quickly. And that is what Pivac wants. And last week, I actually thought, 2 weeks ago against Scotland, I actually thought our speed of ball was really good. And there were moments in the Ireland game where Ireland would spill the ball and we'd go through a couple of phases and he would speed the game up from the breakdown. And I think he's going to be really key to that. He's got to snipe around the breakdown, try and get around those big English forwards and see if he can sneak a try. But I really like Tomas Williams. Again, looking at his stats from that Ireland game, defensively putting a real shift. 9 tackles made, 0 miss, 100% tackle success rate. He's going to have to be on it. He's going to have to be watching for the moments of magic from a Marcus Smith as well, and ensuring that he gets that link between the forwards and the backs correct for Wales. Let's head into the front row then. The front row looks like this for me, an unchanged front row. Wyn Jones goes into the front row. Thought he struggled against Ireland, but last week we had the dominance at the scrum, which was good to see, and it's something that we're going to have to certainly do this week, or at least get parity. England love their set pieces. If they can get dominance there, then they can get the platform to play, but it's the same for us, and I think Wyn Jones is the right man for that. He will be partnered by Ryan Elias, someone who has come in for a lot of criticism over the last couple of years, but I thought against Scotland, putting a real performance and someone that shows that he's capable of taking on a little bit of a leadership role. We've seen how our driving maul has been successful, especially last game, and him at the back of that driving maul, directing it and controlling it, he could be really key for that if we want to try and use that tactic during the game. So Ryan Elias goes in for me. The set piece on the whole has been very good this season, and we need to keep that. We need to keep that going. We've got to get our set piece right, and I think he could be the man to help us do that. He'll be partnered by Thomas Francis. Thomas Francis, many people know here on the channel that I'm not his biggest fan, despite him being down at the Ospreys, and I am an Ospreys fan. But I thought he took his stride really well against Scotland, showed a lot of power. Of course, he's a big physical presence, maybe lacks a little bit at the scrum now and again. He can get caught out there, but that'll be a really interesting battle between him and you'd think either Sinclair or someone like that. It'll be a really interesting battle. That I'd be really keen to see him with ball in hand a little bit more. Sometimes a little bit of frustration of mine is when these forwards, they get the ball and they're hitting the floor before they're hitting the man. I want to see them run hard at the defence and have a go and see if they can get over the gain line, because I believe our backs have the ability to really open up this England defence. So I want to see him with ball in hand, not trying to run 20 odd metres, but just trying to get over the gain line. I'd really like to see that. So he's going to go in for me. Again, he needs to be a big physical presence, put in a number of tackles and try and hold his own weight in the scrum. In the back row, one of the best players, so in the locks, one of the best players this season, in my opinion, during the course of this Six Nations first, has been Rowlands, down at the Dragons, of course, and someone who's really grown into the role. Of course, with the injury to Alun Wyn Jones, it means that Rowlands has been the go-to man for Wayne Pivac, and I think he's done a really, really good job. Fantastic option in the line-out, carries really well, tackles really hard. The only thing I wanted to see him do a little bit more is at the breakdown, be a little bit more proactive and also with ball in hand. But you could say that about all the forwards for Wales. But I've been so impressed by him. Again, I wasn't his biggest fan before this Six Nations, but he's really proven me wrong. And I really want to see what he can do in this team. And I think something that England are going to use a lot is the driving more. They're going to look to utilise it a lot. I want to see him being a menace in there and just causing disruption and make it difficult for England. We've got to make it a gritty game. We can't allow England to get the game by the scruff of the neck and dictate things. You cannot allow that to happen at Twickenham. You've got to stop that. And so that is why Rowlands is in my team, partnered by the vice-captain, that is Adam Beard. Of course, Adam Beard, again, the vice-captaincy after Alun Wyn Jones was ruled out. Biggar promoted to captain, so he gets the vice-captaincy. Pivac has spoken about the way that he has grown into the role and grown into understanding his importance and value to the squad. Fantastic line-out option, similar to Rowlands, can cause chaos at the breakdown. And, of course, in the driving more, I want to see him just arms everywhere, like Luke Charteris, just being a nuisance, just slowing that down, being a pain in the arse, basically, to this English team. That's what I want to see for him. And our line-out, as I said at the start, has stood pretty firm. And I want to see it remain pretty strong. I don't want it to fall against England. So he needs to be there, taking on that leadership role, understanding that he's an integral part to the team. And I want to see him win his line-outs. That's really, really important for us. Heading into the back row, some really tough decisions to make here. A couple of names to mention. First of all is Jack Morgan. I thought Jack Morgan against Scotland, was really good in the loose. Wasn't as involved at the breakdown as I thought he'd be. He has the most amount of turnovers in the URC. He doesn't make the team this week just because it's England away. I think it might be too big a game for him. I'm an Auspice fan. I'm Jack Morgan's biggest fan. Yes, he was fantastic going forward against Scotland, but I think England would just offer something very different that I'm not sure if he's quite ready for that level. And so in the back row, I have gone with these three. First of all, I'm going to bring Ellis Jenkins back in. He was dropped last week for the Scotland game, which I was quite surprised by, to be honest. I didn't understand the reasoning for that, but I would put Ellis Jenkins in there. Again, his experience, his leadership needs to be in there at the breakdown. His turnovers are amazing. And I know Jack Morgan can do it, but I just believe that Ellis Jenkins has that little bit more in that department. I want to see him getting involved. I want to see him slowing that English ball down. So Ellis Jenkins comes in. Partnering him, of course, is probably Wales' best player of the past 6 months. Taine Basham is in at 7 for me. Again, has been absolutely amazing over the course of the last 6 months. Against the All Blacks in the autumn was brilliant. Against Ireland last week, looking at some of his stats from that game, even going forward, showing what he could do. Played the full 80, 15 carries, 93 metres made and 2 broken tackles. In defence then, 22 tackles made, 1 tackle missed, 95% tackle success rate and the 1 turnover won. We need to see him just involved in the game. Just get involved. If I was Pivac, I'd say just get involved. Be a nuisance at the breakdown. Be on the support lines as much as you can. Carry hard. And you will be our man for us. And I think he is an exceptional talent. And the Dragons are building a really nice team down at Rodney Parade with Rodri Jones joining, you've got Bradley Roberts joining, and of course now you've got JJ Hanrahan joining ahead of next season. They're building a decent squad down there. And I think that he could be integral to the growth and the development of that region. But for Wales, I think he has to start. I want to see him involved. I want to see him battling the likes of Curry at the breakdown. That's going to be a key battle. The back row battle is going to be really, really key on Saturday. I want to see him involved and I want to see him being a menace. And then finally, in the 8 shirt, again, someone comes in and someone drops out. I'm bringing Faletau back in. Now, Faletau, for me, if he hadn't have had his injuries, he could have been one of the greatest 8s to have ever played the game. And I know that's a big statement to say, but I do believe that. I think Faletau is someone who just oozes, the game comes easy to him when he can stay fit, when he doesn't get injured. You know, he struggles so much with injuries. When he came through as a youngster in that 2011 Rugby World Cup, he was absolutely brilliant. And through the years, he's been fantastic, but he's just been blighted by injuries. We need to see a change in that. Of course, he's coming back to Wales at the end of the season, joining it with Cardiff ahead of the 2022-23 season. It's really harsh potentially on Ross Moriarty. The reason I would start Faletau is I think Moriarty offers more off the bench than someone like a Faletau would. Moriarty coming off the bench, angry, something to prove, big, physical, tired bodies, will run hard and he will smash. It's like the scene with Hulk, isn't it? It's just like Hulk smash. That's all you want from him in that game. Yes, you want him to keep his head, but you want him to be direct. You want him to be physical. And I think he will certainly bring that against England. And of course, he was born in England, but has come and played for Wales now. Will feel like he's got something to prove against them. And I want to see him involved. So I would start Faletau. Again, I love those moves when he peels off the back of the scrum. That's what I want to see. I want to see him rolling back the ears and show him what he can do. The class that he's got, I would love to see him given a go. Again, it depends on match fitness. I know he played for Bath last week, but a step up even from Premiership level to international level, there's certainly a step up. Whether he's ready for that, that's going to be down to the coaching team. It's going to be really interesting to see who Pivac picks. Again, I would lose my mind if Josh Adams starts in the centre. I'd be really concerned if he does that, but I don't think he will against this England team. I think he'll go fairly similar to what I've got, although I could see 1 or 2 changes from Pivac. But as always, folks, let me know in the comments down below what would be your team. Like the video if you've enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to be doing loads of previews for all the games this weekend. We're going to be doing watch-alongs for all the games this weekend, and there'll be in-depth match reviews and tactical reviews. So make sure, as I said, hit that subscribe button. It's free to do. Trying to hit 3,000 subs by the end of the Six Nations. With your help, we can do that. And join me over the weekend for round 3 of the Six Nations. Thank you very much for watching, folks. Take it easy, and I'll see you soon here on BS Rugby. Peace.